Using Case and Jerusha's record and stand up. I already did it actually once, so maybe I can use some of those aspects, and then I lost the file. It really sucked. But in any case, good to see you guys here. So here's a quick reminder. Keep your folders organized. So here's this project, stand-up project, and inside of that are project files. I've already created one, so it is the stand-up project here, PROJ. And then inside of assets, you have all your assets. In this case, I have copied over the private file that, or the file called private, made by the Panasonic HMC 150 camera that Jerusha and Case recorded. Nothing in audio, but I did grab some stills, and I'll go do that again because his relates to aliens. All right. So I'm going to open up, I'm going to go to Premiere. It's already open. And I'm just going to start with a new project and close this one. And if we need to, we can come back to it. So I'm going to go right here and say close project. Boom. That's it. There's nothing left here. And we're going to say new project. And I'll do this really quickly. You can always stop and play back, etc. I'm going to call this second demo stand up. Okay, and then important, take your time to, this always looks really confusing or whatever, but just go here and say browse. This is where you're saving this project file to, and this is a project file, not media, not export, nothing, but it's the most important file. This is where all your instructions are going, basically. All your decisions are being saved, etc., to this file, and then to this place where you put it, project files. Choose that, say OK. This opens Premiere. Right now, nothing's in here, but you can see in the far left, and I'll use my buttons here, you can see this one is called Second Demo Stand-Up. It's also up here, Second Demo Stand-Up. And I need to start now bringing clips in. I'm going to do that with Media Browser with these specific files. So if you guys recorded with your iPhones outside of, the in-person coming to class thing, or with another camera like Samuele you shot with the Sony camera, you might have individual files, so you could just right-click and say import, or from the file menu would be also an option. But for us, we shot these AVC HD files, and so I want to bring those in via Media Browser. You guys can also bring them in via Media Browser too. It's a good way to get used to, but not the only way and not the most intuitive. So Media Browser, clicking on that. It's actually still set to where I had looked last time, but it's in here. If I just go through this path again here, 141 our class. Here's the folder tree that I created for this project. Going to that, and then I'm going into assets, going into video. Here's this folder that Panasonic automatically names private. And then once I'm in there, it's showing me the different clips that we had already accessed. This might take a minute or two, but this is the best way to bring in this type of footage. And what I'm going to do, like I did just a second ago when I went through this once, is just grab all of Case's stuff. So I'm going to click here. That's like light gray. And you can mouse over these and already like kind of you get an idea of what's in these shots. If you just mouse over, it does this thing called hover scrub. Like here, I can see what Case is doing. But I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom of the list. Hold Shift, select, and then very important, from the Media Browser, I am going to import these clips, the selected clips, into my project. So right now, ain't nothing in my project. So I'm going to right-click, say Import. And it will input the files and throw me over to the project panel here. Now, these are actually inside of my project. This is a good time to do a save. File, save. Or Command S. That's the way better way to do it. All right, we're going to make a quick organization here. And what I'm going to do is grab all the like files, B-roll, in one big folder, and all the stand-up reporting that Case is doing in another bin folder. All right, so here's this B-roll part. This is all B-roll, so I'm going to hold Shift, select all these, drag these over to this folder icon, to the bin icon, and just say B. I'm going to do capital B-roll. All right, now I have everything in B-roll here in a folder. Now, these are all going to be stand-ups. Selecting all these, so I'm going to call this A-roll. Can I make a bin? New bin from selection. Cool. So I can do a new bin from selection and call this A-roll. All right, just to keep that. And then these are also B-roll, but they were somewhere else where I couldn't see them. But now I can grab them and drag them in there. Cool. Now that's my organization. And I want to go into the A-roll and grab a clip. Actually, I think I know which one. Right here, this one. And I'm going to use keyboard shortcuts and also the buttons, and I'm going to make 2 subclips. I want those subclips to go into a folder in an organized way. So right now this is the full clips. Here you can always go to list view, icon view bigger, icon view smaller. And then there's this freeform view. We'll get to that at some point. And but here's list view. I want a folder, so I'll just make one here, a bin, and I'm going to call that subclips. Subclips are small sections of a bigger clip, like any of these clips, for example, that you decide this is the good part, this is the sound bite, this is the part of this video that I want. Okay, because I know that I want it to go into this folder, I'm going to select this folder. Right now there's nothing in it, it's empty, and I'm going to go up to my clip here in the source panel. All right, so here we are in the source panel.
Of course, there's the famous attack in 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BIMA and its students and faculty.
Okay, that's going to be my first clip. All right. Of course, the event of 1972 when the aliens came down and only the guardsmen stood strong against the alien attack. All right. So I'm gonna. This is pretty much the end, the out point right now where my playhead is. So I'm gonna click this one out, and then I'm gonna go back here and decide where my in point is. Good shortcuts to use here are J. As you heard, he was speaking the satanic devil language, but actually what I mean is he was speaking backwards. So J will play backwards, L
of course there's the famous
will play forwards, and K will pause. So J, K, L are called the editor keys. They work in all the applications, all Final Cut Pro, Avid, DaVinci, all of them use JKL. And they also use I for in and O for out point. Cool, so we have that. We have the subclips folders selected. I'm going to go up here, and for the first one, I'll pull it from the menu, make subclip, but I already look at the shortcut, Command U. Aliens Attack 1972, but guardsman stays strong. All right, that's my understanding here. I'm gonna uncheck this. Please do uncheck this so that you can edit it later and you can expand the clip or make it shorter. If you say restrict trims, then all you can do is make it. You can trim it, you can make it shorter, but you can't expand it anymore as a subclip. So just undo this. There's no real reason to have that, and then this will be remembered for the next time. Say okay, cool, and then we're going to go back to this clip and pick out another soundbite.
Of course, there's the famous attack in 1972.
I'm just going to come over here.
Just keep going. Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
I'm going to use that as a separate clip, even though you were just restating case. I'm going to say, of course, it was the famous event of 1972.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
All right, so I'm going to go back here before you say kind of wait, and I'm going to go O, That's an out point. Let me get rid of the in point. All right, so somewhere here is the in point.
Of course.
All right, so right about there. Here I'm just going to go back a few frames using the left arrow. All right, so that looks about good. I'm hitting I, and gives me the end point. This tells me this clip is 20 seconds and 20 frames. That's that duration shows up on the right side and defines whatever is enclosed in the in to out point.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
All right, this is a sub clip. This time I'm going to do it with the shortcut. The shortcut was up here. I'm going to use the shortcut to make a sub clip. Command U. All right, so there it is, and the famous event, 1972. All right, did you see how it lines up directly in this folder, because this folder was selected? So everything that would be getting, a subclip or something that gets saved to a folder would go here in the selected one. All right, let me go out of this bin that I'm in with all the stand-ups and click on Project. Okay, here I can see A-roll, B-roll. And I am going to put those two subclips. Let me find them here. Not B-roll, sorry. On A-roll. I'm going to go in here. I can change my view. Doesn't really matter. Here you can see subclips. All right, here's my first one, Aliens Attack. Let me actually do it this way. I'm going to take the famous event of 1972. Now, if I double-click on that, it removes my in and out because that in and out is the whole clip. This is the subclip.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
Cool. Excellent. So I want this whole clip just as is, and I want to bring it to my timeline. Problem is, I don't have a timeline. Not a problem, because we're going to make one. Okay, so I'm going to go back out here to in the project panel to project, and I'm going to make a new bin. And it didn't make it. Damn it. There you go. All right, and we're going to make this bin, and we're going to call this sequences. So sequences are timelines. They are the most important organizing aspect to editing, because that's where you arrange your clips in a big long row to tell a story, to be a movie. So sequences are important. I'm going to select this. I don't know if it will create my sequence in here. I don't think so. I think I'll have to drag it in here, but that's not a problem. I have a place for my sequences. So with that said, I'm going to take cases, 2 seconds and 20 frame video from the subclip, and just drag it down to the timeline where there is no timeline. It's just empty here, and I'm drop it. All right, and that's created the first clip on track video 1 and on track audio 1, and this is a stereo track. You can see it has 2 audio waveform lines on it, so it has both a left side and a right side. You can have on one of these tracks here, on A1 for example, you could have a mono, a stereo, or even a surround sound track on one of those tracks. So this is stereo, and we'll come back to that later. And this is now the first clip that we've laid down for a movie. All right.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
All right, cool. So we're just going to keep that as you say that case. We're going to go back to our A-roll to get that other clip. Oh, I see. This is where that bin went that I didn't want. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, subclips, and here's the Aliens Attack.
Famous attack in 1972. Aliens came down from the...
So that's where we want the continuation. So right around here is where
1972.
We'll go in point. We'll actually make a sub-selection of the subclip.
Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BIMA and its students and faculty.
Cool. All right. Well, so we'll go out there, give it a few more seconds to breathe. I guess that's good. And I'll go O for out. Now I have a clip that's 6 seconds and 26 frames long. And I'm going to put this after this one, but I'm actually going to leave a little bit of room. And this could be a different thought or anything like this. In this case, it's basically a continuation of a story, but leave room to breathe after a thought or a concept. So if you say, I'm here at the City College campus where I'm reporting on COVID-19 preparations. Pause. Then say, at the school, administrators and officials have been hard at work to prepare the school for students. Pause. So leave those thinking pauses for people to kind of follow the story and not be rushed. All right, I'm grabbing this and I'm just dragging it over. Okay, so now we have these two. You see there's black in between.
1972. Aliens came down from the sky and only the guards.
Okay, aliens came, and I think, so now it should at least, here, if I take this away just so we can listen to it as once.
Event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BEMA and its students and faculty.
Cool. All right. So I am going to this edit point. I am going to separate these again. Kind of makes more sense to have it together, but I want to have a little pause in here to demo. And then I'm going to add some B-roll because I don't want this to take too long. So here takes me back to my main project here. Here is my sequence, and the only way I know that is from this icon because I know this program well. So if I go to list view, now you can see, hey, this looks different than these icons. So you only really see that in list view. Here it looks like a clip. It's not a clip. It is this sequence, and I'm actually going to go and change the name and call it right here, clicking on that stand-up demo. What did I call this? Second demo stand-up. All right, and then I'm going to put the sequences here with a little bit of delay, I guess, into this sequences folder. All right, so now that's in there, and I'm going to get some B-roll. So I'm going into B-roll, and let's see what this is. I can't see anything here, so I'm going to go icon view, and there we go. Now we're in the right folder here, B-roll, and let's bring in one of these City College pictures here. Just going to look at it. Okay, so let's just take that. That's really nice, you guys. That static shot without any bumps or anything else in it. I'm probably going to make it even shorter than this. Right now it's like 3 seconds and 4 frames. Shift I will take me to the beginning here, and I've brought these buttons down here. Play video in to out, from in point to out point. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Yeah, that's good. This is great. I'm going to make a quick sub clip out of this. Right click, new bin, for example. New bin and sub clips. All right, and that should be here. I have that selected. Command U from the source panel, and CCSF LED sign, just to be. I think there's other signs. So that is now in here. I can see it says one item. I double click. Okay, cool. That is in there. I'll go back, and then we're going to get one more piece of B-roll. And I think it was this one. You had one that was zoomed all the way out. That looks nice. So let me just take this one just for almost like a still image kind of. Let's make a little bit do out, and I'm going to reduce it on this side. It's moving around. The camera's moving around a little bit, so I just want to get as still as possible with this example. Come over here. All right, in. Cool. Command U. Guardsman kiosk. Okay, that didn't go to my folder. I'm going to drag it over. Now it's in there. And I think one last one, you guys had these like zoom outs or something like that. Yeah, there. I might use that instead of the still one and have the zoom in there. And since I messed with this already, I kind of sped it up a little bit, but it's a nice shot otherwise. Cool. And you come to a stop there. Excellent. Command U. ZO, capital ZO for zoom out. Let me write it again. Zoom out from kiosk. I think that's what those little things are called. Okay. Didn't go in my folder, but now I'm going to put it in my folder. Cool. And now I'm going to go into my B-roll folder. Now that I have some A-roll here, I'm going to go into my folder and put some B-roll on the second track here. And notice, well, don't notice anything here. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take this one. I can take it from here and drag. But notice that if I am kind of don't pay close attention, what will happen is if I drop this now, I still have my finger on the mouse, it will delete my audio on track 1. So some of the fixes are, just make sure that you kind of force the audio to go to a different track. You can always move the tracks around later. Like this would be a different track here. All right. And then that's one of the options that you can do. A much cleaner and easier and faster option right away than to fiddle with this, I'm going to undo, is just to take only the video. And it's really easy. Like up here, I only want the video from this clip here. So I can just go right here to this drag video only, grab that, bring that down here, and now I have only the video.
This is the famous event of 1972.
All right, and then I can, in here, if this seems like it's too long at 3 seconds, I guess that's a fast statement that Case is making. So I'm just going to go in here and trim this back and then see what it looks like if I just have that City College sign first.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1970.
Cool. All right, so that, as far as putting B-roll over here, is good enough for right now. And then I'm going to see what it's like if I just take this clip and put it over here. Again, audio and video kind of conflicting, so just take video for B-roll, if it doesn't matter what the B-roll is.
Of 1972.
Okay, and I'm going to leave you to finish your sentence there.
1972. Aliens came down.
All right, and then we'll look at that sound in a second with kind of a advanced fix, but I think it will make sense to some people. Let me take off the spotlight here and just say what we have now is this.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down.
All right, so and I don't know if I like that guardsman there. I think I'll take this whole clip and just move it over a little bit with a less of a block, and I'll just keep this one where there's the zoom out. All right, so I'll use this one instead, grab video only, drag it over here to bridge that gap so I still have that breath.
72. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BEMA and its students.
Okay, so maybe I'll go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out here by going minus. Now I can see more. And I'm going to do this, that I want this clip not to be as long, and I want the zoom to happen a little faster. So right click, and I'm going to speed duration. And I'm going to speed this up to 150%, so it's 50% faster. And that will already shave some time off of it.
Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect.
And then maybe I'll just do a fade out around the end. I just grabbed the end, and I'm going. Sorry, let me grab this. Right click. Sorry. Let me zoom in a little bit. And what I want to do is add a fade here, apply, right click, and say apply default transitions. All right, now it has a little cross dissolve to the video.
Stood solely here to protect.
All right, doesn't look that great, but we'll keep it.
stood solely here to protect Bima and its
And I might just do this, that I roll this out a little bit. Okay.
solely here to protect Bima and its students and faculty.
Cool. All right, so the biggest point I'm trying to make here with this is you could also change this to be like a fade, or I'll just take it out right now, select it, and then hit delete, and now I just have a cut.
Solely here to protect Bima and its students and faculty.
Cool, that works for me. All right, so now the only thing that needs to be fixed is the audio, because the sound was the way we meant to set it up, which was the channel 1 getting its input from the handheld mic, and channel 2 hearing the ambience from the space. But now what has happened is that it has a delay. The internal mic is hearing things maybe a fraction of a second slower than Case speaking directly into the handheld mic, and so there's an offset in time, and that
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
has this kind of cavernous effect. So what we're going to do is go to this clip. We're going to go do this on both, but we're going to do this clip first here, right click, and we're going to look at the way the audio channels are getting their source material. So audio channels, and right here, this is coming from the source, from the media source, from the clip that you recorded, and it has a left channel and it has a right channel. And we're using them in Premiere in this clip by getting the left channel in Premiere from the left channel from the source, and we're getting the right channel feed from the right channel of the source. We don't really need the ambient soundtrack. You can see it here better. Let me see if I can. I'll pull this down in a second. You can see a little bit more. We only need the good mic, and that was on the left channel. So we need the left channel on both sides. We need the mic channel where Case is speaking into the mic on both the left and the right side. We can throw away or get rid of or not hear the ambient sound. And so to do that, I'm just going to go here to clip 1 and say I want the left side to play the left channel, and I want the right side also to play the left from the media source. So I want the left on both sides of my Premiere track. You can also preview these.
Of course, there's the famous event of
And you can check these channels so that you don't have to remember.
1972. Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
That's the crappy one, you know. So I'll say OK. All right, so now I'll open this up, this track. All right, you can see that the waves are waveforms are exactly identical, versus over here where you see big differences. We're going to do that over here, but let's listen to this first.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972.
Now that's sounding good. All right, and the only thing is that we're
Of course, there's the famous.
peaking around -3, so we're going to bring the audio level down. Yeah, about somewhere around here, maybe -6. And we're going to hear this again.
Of course, there's the famous event of.
Nice, much better. And we're going to bring it down a little bit more.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1970.
Now we're good. All right, right around -12 is where we want to be. Do the same thing here. Audio channels. Take the right side away, basically, and have the left side play both on the left side of a stereo and the right side of a stereo track. All right, cool. These waveforms pop.
Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect Bima and its students.
All right. And I'm going to add, I think, one more piece of B-roll here quickly, and then my demo is pretty much done.
And
Let's
its
see.
students and faculty.
So I reduced the levels here again, also down here, by pulling this white center line down or up. You know, that's how I'm adjusting the levels.
Solely here to protect
That could be a little bit bright, a little bit louder. I want to be
Bima
about
and its students and faculty.
cool. So this one's good. Now you can do that expanding of the track for video as well. You can pull it up and make them bigger, and then you can kind of see what's in those tracks. There's a few different layouts, and whatever kind of floats your boat or serves your purpose.
Came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect.
Okay, so the coming down from the sky thing is not really helping me, so I want aliens from the sky right here.
Aliens came down from the sky.
this isn't really looking like Aliens from the Sky or as related enough for me to understand. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do another save, Command S. All right, that just saved my project. And then I'm going to go over to a browser. Oh, look, I already have something ready. Here's this one right here is on this website, which is amazing. It has free photos that are all public domain. You're not breaking any copyright rules, and you can put this in a portfolio. You can use this for commercial work, and you should say thanks to the person who you are using, whose work you are using. But right here, Albert Anthony has this great shot for us, and I want that. So I'm going to download this. I have different options all the way up to 4000K. I'm going to actually take that because I want to show you guys what to do with a picture that's too big. It says download this. Where do you want to put it? I'm going to say save as. It opens the download dialogue or whatever. But if you have this in downloads or you're on your desktop, then make sure you put it back in your project. Here's our project. Stand up. Here's assets. Here's already a folder for stills. So this is where I want this to go. I could rename it, but it's downloading from the web, or it's downloaded from the web, and I generally suggest keep your file names the way they come from a SD card or the web, and rename all you want inside of Premiere. Okay, I'm going to say save with that original name, and I'm going to go back to Premiere. Boom. All right, so let me go out here to project. Now, what do I have? B-roll, A-roll, sequences. Let's make another bin, and let's call this stills. All right, and into stills is where we're going to right-click, import, and here's my Aliens from the Sky picture. Here I can double-click it. It will open up here. All right, so this is the picture I'm going to use for the first part, and actually I'll just keep with the same logic of putting video clips over video clips to hide the ones below but still have the audio, and to show clips on top. So here I go with this. I'm going to grab this clip here and just put it right here on top. It's not going to go that long, so I'm going to estimate about here, and let's take a look.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen.
Okay, the timing is good, but if I go to look at this, I don't even see the alien spaceship. So what I need to do, if your clips don't match the frame here and they're displaying fully, right-click on them and say set to frame size. All right, and now the height is matching our HD frame, but the width is showing the left and right. So let me just show a little bit more of this picture. I guess we still don't have a picture there. Okay, doesn't matter. Then I'm going to go to this here and double click on our picture in the program panel, program monitor. All right, I double click there and I get this bounding box around, and so you guys know what to do with this. This is like scaling, like anywhere on the web. I'm just going to scale up until it covers the corners. All right, that is now the size that I have. All right, and this should do it.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen.
I think I'm gonna move these two further over. You don't have to worry about this, but I want that pause to be a little bit longer. I'm gonna make this a little bit, massage this a little bit also, and I am going to add some I'll just select the clip, right click, I want this apply default transitions, and then I guess on this side default transition. Let's see what happens.
72.
Not good. That's fine. That would need more surgery. So this is what we have.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely.
Okay. So maybe I'll get rid of that B-roll.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BIMA and its students and faculty.
All right, so that's it. The last thing is an export. I'm going to add this here, apply default transition across dissolve to the end.
Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect.
Okay. You could argue that there needs to be some B-roll. I mean, there needs to be some ambient sound here because you can hear that,
Event of 1972. Aliens came down from.
There's no ambient sound there. So that's generally why you heard today in class you want to record wild sound or record basically just the audio of the ambience of where you are recording your location, so that you can have something to put in there. If we go to I think like the B-roll, for example, and go to where you guys were recording this. There's some light sounds in the back, but that's fine. I'm going to actually just take this into out duration 2 seconds, and this time I'm just going to grab audio, and I'm bringing the audio down here to have a patch where we don't hear any of the ambience.
Event of 1972. Aliens came down from.
All right, so we do have now a little sound. It's a little mismatched, but you get the concept, and that's also what that is for. Let me see if I can do the channels here and get, not gain control, but audio channels and spread. In this case, the right side to both. Let's see how that works.
2. Aliens.
Cool, and that's good. It's just a little bit loud.
Came down from 2. Aliens came down from the sky.
Cool, that's working for me. Okay, so we have that together. Now we're going to export the whole thing. With this selected, we're going to do File, Export, Media. And because I already named my project this second demo stand-up and created a sequence and named the sequence this, it already has the name I want. Otherwise, just click on it, change the name you want, and then this is also where you go to choose to where it should be saved and exported to. Here's our project files. That's the Premiere Pro project files. Here's the assets, and here's exports. All right, I wanted to go into exports. This is already the right name. It's going to be a video file with a .mp4. I'm going to say save and export. Cool. That's it. I hope that makes sense. And, obviously you might want to do something else, or you want to, add other clips or just work with those. The whole web is out there with answers. But I hope this grounds you in our process of doing A roll, B roll, or also A-B editing. That we kind of go back and forth between A roll, which should be the first track with its audio and its video, and on top of that is B roll. Like in this case, this is the right here, the Guardsman kiosk, but this is also B roll. I put that on a track above, and this is where I would maybe use it throughout on V3 for photos. Cool. All right, the export is done. I'm going to hide this, Command H, and I'm going to hide the browser, and we're just going to take a quick look in here. All right, there it is.
Of course, there's the famous event of 1972. Aliens came down from the sky, and only the guardsmen stood solely here to protect BIMA and its students and faculty.
Okay, it's a little abrupt, but I hope the concept is clear. And I am going to sign off since I did this